Hi guys, Mark Taylor here from paintwithmark.com, and today I thought we'd paint a beautiful seascape picture. So I've done one earlier, so this is the picture that I'm going to teach you how to paint today. You can all see that. Lovely. So what I've got done so far is we're using a 16 by 20 canvas. I've already applied liquid white. If you want to see how to apply that, if you go to YouTube, you'll see when I'm with my videos on how to apply liquid white. I've come up brush length, got a brush against the side there, and I've put a little bit of masking tape along there to give us our lovely straight horizon line. So the colours we're using today are titanium white, alizarin crimson, dark sienna, black, phthalo blue and prussian blue, and I've got a little bit of yellow ochre. So I'm going to start off with our 2-inch landscape brush, and I'm going to go into some blue, Prussian blue. So I'm just going to pull down a little bit of Prussian blue and tap a little bit of phthalo blue. Hardly any paint at all, just pour it a little smaller and I'm just tapping. So I've got a little bit of coating of material on the brush there. And I'm going to go up to the canvas and I'm going to start in the corners because I want the corners the darkest bit. And I'm just going to do X strokes, work across and work down underneath, and it's going to mix with the liquid white. Now I don't mind if I get gaps in between because it's going to add to the clouds. I'm just going to pull this down, working down, leave it about 4 inches from the line, our little bit of tape. So just come across there. Now you can wipe your brush into a little bit of kitchen roll, just wash it around, and then I'm going to use the same brush to blend. So by applying light pressure over the area, I'm going to blend this blue and it's going to mix in with the liquid white that we applied earlier. So I'm just doing crisscross strokes, and you can blend as much as this as you want, or as little as you want. Here's, pull them out. And again, I'm just doing crisscross strokes. And the side of the canvas. Now the corners I want to make a little bit darker in the corners here, so I'm just going to add a little bit of black, so back into the blue and just a little tiny bit of black, and tapping very lightly on the colour. Because I want to just pull this down just to make this a bit darker, this side over here. So what I've done is just add a bit of black to it. And then I'm going to go over it left and right. Pull out any hairs. Okay, lovely. Now I'm going to go into some kitchen roll again. A bit of kitchen roll. And again, I'm not going to clean the brush, I'm just going to squeeze it between a bit of toweling paper, kitchen roll. Then I'm going to go into some alizarin crimson, and alizarin crimson is a really strong colour, so we don't use a lot of this. Again, I'm just going to pull a little piece out and just tap. Turn my brush over and tap. And I'm going to go up to my canvas, and underneath the blue here, I'm just going to add some of this in this area here. And I'm going to add some along here. I'm just going to run it all the way along the horizon line there. And then I'm just going to crisscross, taking it up into the blue. Again, I'm just crisscrossing, so I'm blending again with this brush as well, so it's just blending. If I want to add a bit more colour, make it stronger so you can see it on the video. A bit more there, that'd be nice. I'm going to add just a touch more. I'm going to add a little bit up here, I think, just across here, just a touch of colour in there. Just a little bit up there. Because when I put my clouds on the top, you're going to see some of this colour behind. Okay. And once you've applied the colour, I'm then going to lightly go from left and right. Just to blend it back. So, next step is I'm going to add some clouds, and for that I'm going to use titanium white. Now, a lot of people struggle with clouds, but it's very, very simple because clouds are very different shapes. Obviously you want them sort of like cotton wool, sort of buddy sort of formation, but you haven't got to worry too much about them. But the main thing is I'm going to use a fan brush today, and you want to load the brush up both sides, and I'm going to use the corner, and I'm going to use it at that angle like that. I'm just going to do circular movements just across the canvas. So with that said, I'm going to start from the top, and all I'm going to do is apply pressure, and as I'm applying the pressure I'm just doing circular movements. Now I also will turn my brush around. When I get the blue on there, I'll turn it around to use the other side and continue just scrubbing in these clouds. Now it's picking up blue on my brush, which makes this lighter because it's mixing with the white, which is fine because obviously clouds are all different shapes and obviously they've got all different colours in the background, so that's what we want. So once I've done that, I will use a 2-inch brush. Give it a 2-inch brush, which is a clean, dry 2-inch brush. Okay, and I'll be using just the corner, the very corner, holding it up like this, and I'll do little C shapes. And all I'm trying to do is blend out the bottom. So leave the top, but just blend the bottom slightly. So I'm actually doing little C shapes. I'm just blending, and it's picking up some of this colour which is going back into the bottom of this, which is great. Once I've done that, I'll use the brush and I'll do a sweeping movement up, very lightly. Now you hardly touch the canvas at all, very, very lightly. And then I'll go across it very, very lightly again, very, very lightly, just to push it back. Okay. Once I've got one formed, I will then do another layer on top to create depth. Now make sure that you clean the fan brush out, you pull all that blue out. Again, I'm not going to clean it in any thinners or anything at the moment because it doesn't matter, because we're going to pick up a little bit of colour as we're doing more clouds. So I'm going to go back into some white again. load up the brush. And I like to go over slightly some of these clouds that we've done before to create a three-dimensional effect. So I'm going to go back over this, doing our, you can go clockwise or anti-clockwise, it doesn't really matter. So I'm just sort of going over layer by layer, and I'm going to bring some more down, keep coming across, and come across here now and start a few here. I'm going one way, I'm going the other way. Just swirly movements. Swirl movements. Again, use my 2-inch brush. Get my 2-inch brush and just lightly tap the bottoms of the vase. Just blending. Blend the bottoms out. I'm going to blend that a little bit. Okay, sweep up. Very lightly, I'm hardly touching that, and then lightly go across. So create beautiful clouds. I'll do another row. Just going to wipe the brush again, just wipe it in between the towel. Go back into the white. Put it one side and the other side, load it up well. And I'm going to do, I want it to be right down to the horizon line here. Go this down. There. And I'll go back into some more paint. There's a bit more over here. Come from this side down here, over this way. Again, you know, you can go clockwise, anti-clockwise. It doesn't matter too much. It really doesn't. Okay. I'll do the one up there. Okay, back into our 2-inch brush, just at the base. Now these clouds here, where we've put the crimson at the bottom, you can still see the crimson behind these clouds. So it creates lovely colour. Don't overblend, don't do too much, otherwise the clouds just disappear. That's not what we want. Okay, again, sweep up. And across very lightly, just to push it all back. Now I've purposely left a little gap there because I'm going to put some seagulls in later on. So there we've done the sky, and now we put in the clouds, and I hope that you understand that clouds are easy to do. We could have easily done it with the 1-inch brush, exactly the same way, just swirling it, little round movements, just create this shape. So, okay, next part, what we're going to do is we're going to take off the masking paper, and then we're going to put in our sea. So, we took off our paper, which gives us a lovely straight horizon line. Though obviously you've got to be careful when you're going up to this line. So what I tend to do is where I'm going up to my line, I will use a little fan brush to go up to the line. So the colours we're going to be using down the bottom exactly the same as what we did in the sky. So we had a mixture of Prussian blue, phthalo blue and a bit of black. So Prussian blue, phthalo blue, black. And I'm going to load the brush up. And what I want to do is go the width of the brush. I'm going to go right across and do 2 rows. So as close as this as possible. So I'm going to go near as possible. So I'm just going to go up here. Again, it doesn't matter if it hasn't coated too well because I can go over it. But I'll put it from this side as well. So basically what I'm looking for is 2 rows from it. So I'm just going to put that on there for a minute. And then I'm going to load the brush again. Same colour. Bit of black. Bit of Prussian blue. A bit of phthalo blue. Now I'm going to add more phthalo blue this time, because I want it to be a little bit lighter as I come down. So again, I'm just going to bring it across here. Now once I've got my 2 rows across, I'll go sideways on the brush and very lightly just go across, backwards and forwards, just a few times. Don't over blend. Okay, and I'm going to put it down slightly here because obviously I'm going to have my beach and sand at this angle. So I'm just going to pull this just along here a little bit, about there. Just let it blend out. And let that blend a little bit. So just going backwards and forwards, pulling it up to my line. And where I've done it, you can see where it's blended in with the white, it's gone dark, light, dark and light. So it's automatically created this lovely ripply effect on the water. So it wasn't hard to do, but it's created a lovely effect already. So all I'm going to do now is go back into my colour, into the black, Prussian and phthalo blue, because I want to take it up to that line carefully to keep our horizon line. And again, it's easier when you're using the little tiny brush. Now you probably can't see it up there, you might just see it's white, but I can see it, so I'm just going to put this in carefully. Taking it up to the top. A bit more colour. Carry along. Obviously when you do your picture, you'll have a lot more time to do this. You can be a bit more careful than me. I'm just showing you this for demonstration purposes. Okay, so once we've got our horizon line done, I'll just blend it down. And out. Okay, so now we've got a lovely straight horizon line which is a bit dark and it's always a little bit lighter. Now The next thing we're going to do is we've got to think about a big wave that we're going to put in there. So I'm going to put a big wave in there. Obviously, the way that I do the wave is you've got to imagine there's a horizon line and there's a distant vanishing point. So I do imaginary 3 lines. So you'd have, if you imagine the horizon line, you'd have about an inch, just come down about an inch from the horizon line, which would be your first line. Then another inch, second line, and 3 or 4 inches from the third line. So you would start on the middle line, you would come along, you take it over the upper line and then down to the bottom line and out. So, you know, sometimes it's easier to draw. You could scratch it in with a knife if you find that easier. But I'm just going to use my filbert brush and a little bit of white, and I'm just going to draw it in. So I'm just going to go into some titanium white, and we're going to use a line. So as I said, you know, we're going to come along here. So along here we're going to come up, here, and then we're going to take it over, down. I'm going to take it down here, along, and then we're going to take it up and then out. So I hope you can see that on the camera there. So basically I'll put a bit more white on this so you get the idea. So basically we've got a first line there, a third line there, so a first line there, which is breaking. So go back into the colour. So coming along, if you imagine this, it's going to come along here. This is going to be the eye of the wave, and the wave is going out and splashing down there. Whoosh. And it's going to come up to the next one, which is going to be out there. So this is going to be, if you imagine this, the wave's going to be imaginary lines, going to be around like that. That gives you an idea. So we've got that put in there. So with that said, now I've got that put in there, I'm going to put in our dark base at the bottom. So with that, I'm not going to clean the brush. I'm going to go into some dark sienna, and I'm just going to pull some dark sienna down there, turn it over, give it a tap, tap. Now, good thing about the dark sienna, if it blends in with the blue, it creates a bit of a green effect anyway. It's what we want. So I'm just going to pull this, as you can see, a bit of green. It's too much, so I am going to clean the brush. I'm going to clean the brush before I put the brown on. So I'm going to put a bit of dark sienna along the bottom here. I'm just going to clean this first because that's going to be too green for what we want. So again, I just don't like cleaning it out too much with thinners. We don't have to. I'd just rather use the paper. Okay, hopefully that will be enough. So I go back into the dark sienna. Pull some dark sienna, that's better. So pull some dark sienna down. And don't forget, you need the dark to show the light on top. We're going to put, obviously, going to go on top of it. Okay, where it's mixing there, it's mixing in a little bit of the green. Pull it to the side a little bit like that. Up here. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to add in on top of that a little bit of okay, now what I'm going to do also is I'm going to add a little bit of yellow ochre on the corners. So I'm going to go straight into my brush, tap it one side, tap it the other side, just to add a little bit of light colour from the corners here on top, just to give it a sort of golden effect, sandy golden beach effect. So let's put some more on top. Hopefully you can see it on there. We get a nice golden effect. I might put a little bit of, lighten that down a little bit more, just to make it more light through here. Okay, and I'm just going to brush backwards and forwards under there. So as sand is done on the beach, obviously the wave's going to come crashing down, and then we're going to add some more in there. I may add a little bit more blue, just coming down a bit more here. Just a little bit, bring it down just a touch. So I'm going to go back to some more blue, just a touch. And I'm going to make this dark underneath the wave. So here, I'm just going to darken this down here. Darken this at the top here. Darken this down underneath this bit here. Just darken it down a little bit. Okay. Right. Okay. Now, I'm going to mix up a little bit of purple by using the blues and some alizarin crimson. So a little bit of alizarin crimson, and I'll get some blue, and I'll add just a touch of white. So we're going to get a lovely sort of purple colour like that. I'm going to use that as our base colour to show a light on top. Okay. Clean my filbert brush. Right, I'm going to get my purple mix that I've mixed up there on my filbert brush, load it up thoroughly, and the line that I've made, I'm just going to scrub little circles around the edges. So all I'm going to do here on this edge is I'm just doing circular movements. Okay, which again, which will be the background of our foam, because purple's a good colour to show up our foam afterwards. And I'm just doing little circular movements here along this line here. I'm going to carry it along here and just very lightly take it out there, and then I'm going to just lightly take it along this line here, but very lightly along there. Take it along there. Okay, so we've got some darking, which is good. So now can I come to our fan brush, and with our fan brush we're going to create the splash of the wave. So I'm going to get some white, a little bit of yellow, and just get some more white. So I'm just going to get some more white on my fan brush, load it up thoroughly. I'm just going to add a little, just a touch of the yellow, because we don't want it anything just pure white. So just a hint of the yellow on there. And where this is, the top of the wave's coming round, it's going to come down to there. So I'm just going to pull it round there and to there. It's going to come down. Think about shape. Think about shape. Now it will pick up some colour, so you may have to wipe it each time. Okay, so wipe it and then reload. So very lightly pull and down. Pull and down. The top of the wave where it's crashing over the top. I'm just going to wipe that again. Load up the brush. Again, thoroughly load it, one side and the other side. Coming up to the top here, and again, just going to pull it and down. Okay, again, have it all uneven, don't do it all even, do it all uneven. Okay, on the top here, on this just bit, I'm just going to touch very lightly, just to create the illusion of the foam coming out. Again, along here I will just touch, push up, touch, very light, just along there for just for the moment. Okay, we've got a lot more foam and everything to go yet, but we just thought I'd just put in a little bit, just to start, just so we can see what's going on. So now, I'm also going to add some cadmium yellow, a little bit of cadmium yellow. So it's a bit of white, cad yellow, yellow ochre. And we're going to put it in here. I'm just going to scrub it in there and come down this side and then come down that side. I'm just doing little circular movements, and I'm just going to run it very lightly underneath this line, and again it's just going to carry on all the way along there and under there. Okay, and then carry it all the way along very lightly and out along there. Now I'm going to add a bit more in the middle here. Okay, and then I'm going to use a brush, the edge of the brush, just going to wipe it, make sure it's very clean, really clean, and we'll get all that colour out. And again, using the corner of the brush, I'm just going to blend this blend this down. Just blend this out underneath the wave and blend it down there, and then I'm just going to use this shape, so I'm actually going to pull this down, start pulling it down into the way that I want it to go. So I'm just pulling this down now, forcing that down into the way that the wave is going to go. So we're forcing it down that way from the top, pulling it down, that's going to go down that way. Okay. So getting the idea that it's all splashing down that way. Push hard, pull it down, out. And this again, this will be going this way. Out. Okay, so that gives you an idea of what's happening there. On here, we're going to add more colour. Obviously we've got the actual foam itself, we're going to be splashing the foam up. So we'll clean the brush. I'll be back into our white. Like both sides of the brush. And we're just going to wiggle the brush all the way along the edge here now. So we're just going to literally wiggle the brush. Just wiggle it. Okay, close the brush. More paint. And just literally just wiggle this up. And where you push it up, where you hold it sideways and you push it up like that, it creates a lovely foam effect. Okay, I'm just going to push a bit out here, a bit down here, just on the edge there. Okay, so we've got that there. Now we're just going to blend again using the corner of the brush very lightly, just to put all the colours back, blend together. And you can blend out as much of this as you like, but I'm just very lightly blend some of this out. Okay, then I'm going to add a bit more. I'm going to use the fan brush. A clean fan brush, just to give it a few more sparkles, as I call it. Is I put one side, put the other side, a lot of paint in there. And what I do is the side of this again, where you know if you want to create some more really big splash pieces, you just tap like that, and it creates more and more of this foam area. Like here, I'm going to create a bit more there. If you want just a bit more coming up here, so I might have a little bit up there. Just have a bit more splashes up here. Again, just a few bits and pieces, and then you can use the side of the brush just for little touch, little dots, as if they're coming away from the wave, they're breaking away from the wave, so it gives you little dots here and there on top of the wave here, coming up. And that creates, obviously, the wave and the foam and the splashing up there. Now, while we've got our little fan brush, I like to create a few ripples in the back here. So it's really easy to do. Obviously, because these are further away, we're just going to just put a few little lines very faintly along here. Very few faintly. And then as I come down, I might do a few more here. A couple more here. Now when you do these, it's important that you keep the dark. So if that's the line there, you need to keep the dark underneath this, and then you can rock backwards and forwards, but you need to keep a lot of the dark there. So it's just rocking movements. Very light rocking movements. But keep the dark. Don't do every bit. And then again you just push it up and down so you get a little ripple in the water, a little bit higher. That one's come down a bit. Just add a little bit extra to it, gives it a bit more movement. So I'm now going to get a bit of blue. This is a little bit green here, so I'm just going to add a little bit of blue in, and I'll do that. I've got a little fan brush with a bit of blue in, so I'm just going to get a little bit of the blue and a little bit of purple, and I'm just going to add that in here and follow the shape. So obviously that's splashing up and coming around and down, so I'm actually going to pull this blue just lightly, just pull a little bit here. Going to pull this down the way of the shape of this wave, obviously. So it's going down, round like this. So I'll just add a bit on. I'm just going to mix some of that green on there. I'm going to use my brush just to pull that down now and blend that in. Down, round, like so. I'll put a bit more just at the top edge here. Make it a bit darker at the top here. I'll use my fan brush again just to blend this down. Just to give it a bit more depth. Like that. Okay, now I'm going to get my liner brush. Get a liner brush, and I want to make sure this is thin, and I want to go into some white, spin it around, and get some thinner on there. And I'm going to add a few little bits in that you usually see on these. And basically it's just like lightning forks, I call it, really. So you see a lot of this on these waves, these lines on That's water. And again, I'm just thinning down the white, and I'm going to add a little line on the top here, if you need to, just to make it stand out more. I'm going to add a few more lines coming down here. So on a few of these lines, and then at the bottom here, I like to do again the rocking movement, so it's up one way and down the rest. So basically you're going to do a lot of this down the base here, a lot of rocking movements backwards and forwards. You know, we're going to blend that in a minute, some of that. Just add a few light ones here. Okay, get a bit more thinner, a little bit thinner there, and add a bit more. Another one coming round just inside here. See a very faint line there, like so. Lovely. I might use my brush. I'm just going to blend that a little bit, very lightly. Very lightly, just to fade that down a bit. Now, I'm going to use a knife to create a wave coming along here. So I'm just going to pull out some white. Obviously it's not pure white, it's got a bit of colour on, which is fine. I just want to cut off a ridge of paint. I'm pushing firmly. I'm just going to pull it across here and coming down there. So I'm going to start here, and I'm just going to come across, add a bit more. Keep this level. That's the main thing. You must keep that level and flat. And then I'm going to add a bit on there, there, so. And we'll add another bit in there, like so. Okay. Now, once you've added those on, clean your fan brush, okay, and you're just going to pull the back, just slightly pull it back into the wave itself. Okay, so it's there, just going to put it up, see if the wave's coming down. I'm just going to blend it into this, so it looks like this is part of it. Here. Just go down. I'm just going to fade this. Fade that down. Like back. And then do rocking. As I said, the rocking movements down the bottom here, just at the base. Right back a bit more. Okay. I'm going to put a few rocks in there. So I'm going to use my knife again. I'm just going to get a little bit of the dark sienna. I'm just going to add a couple of rocks in here. on there. So another one next to it. There's a little bit up there as well. Join it up. Three little rocks there, I think. And then I'll highlight that with the bit of the yellow ochre, a little bit of white, just on one side, just very lightly come down. Okay, and then with the white, I will just put a little bit around the bottom of the base of these rocks. And if you're not happy with these, we're going to change them. You can just come back in here and change them. Add some more bits to it, make it more defined if you want to. So that's those bits, and then I'm going to add a couple of seagulls. And seagulls, again, basically are just two little lines. So I'm just going to do a little line like that, just a small little line, and then I'm just going to come up and out, and then on the other side, up and out. And do another line here, a bit longer. This is going to come up and out, up and out, and then on the ends just going to get a little bit of the black, just a little bit of black, and then just at the ends, the very ends of the tip, I'm just going to just add a little bit of black, and then right at the front is beak, and sometimes you get a little bit of reflection underneath one of these. So, all that said, I think we've got a finished picture. Hopefully you've painted along with me step by step, and it's given you some encouragement and a few tips for you to paint along. So that's Mark Terrell with Paint with Mark, signing off until the next time. Thank you very much.